Grok 4.5 just entered private beta, not for you, not for most people, only for employees at SpaceX and Tesla. And honestly, that detail tells you everything. When a company builds something so powerful it tests it internally first, before trusting it to the public, that is not a product launch, that is a signal. And buried inside that signal is something genuinely useful for you right now, because the reasoning capability inside Grok 4.5 is not new technology. It is the most advanced version of something you can already access today, and most people using AI tools are completely ignoring it. Here's what I mean. There are two ways people use AI right now. The first way is the obvious way. You type a question, you get an answer, you copy it, you move on. That is how most people use it, and that is also why most people are not getting meaningful results. The second way is completely different. You use AI as a reasoning partner, not a search engine, not a copy machine, a thinking partner that works through complex problems with you. That second approach is what Grok 4.5 was built for. It is what GPT 5.6 Sol, previewed by OpenAI just this week, was built for. Maximum reasoning mode, ultra multi-agent thinking. Not just answering questions, but solving layered problems step by step. And here's the part that most people completely miss. You do not need to wait for a private beta to use reasoning AI. The tools are already in your hands. The question is whether you know how to activate that mode. Let me show you exactly how. The first thing to understand is what reasoning AI actually does differently. Standard AI gives you a fast answer. Reasoning AI works through the problem before answering. It checks its own logic. It considers multiple angles. It flags where it is uncertain. It builds toward a conclusion rather than jumping to one. That difference is enormous in practice. Think about it this way. You would not ask a friend to make a major financial decision in 3 seconds. You would want them to think it through. Reasoning AI is the version that thinks it through. Now here is where it gets genuinely useful. There are 4 specific ways you can apply this right now, regardless of your job, regardless of your background, regardless of whether you have ever used AI seriously before. The first is business decision making. Say you run a small business, or a freelance operation, or even a side project you're trying to grow. Instead of asking AI what you should do next, describe your actual situation in detail. Give it real numbers, real constraints, real goals. Then ask it to reason through your 3 biggest risks. Not to give you a list of tips, to actually work through the problem like an advisor would. The output is completely different. It surfaces things you had not considered. It prioritizes what actually matters. It gives you a thinking framework you can act on. The second use is writing and communication strategy. Not just writing a draft, reasoning through who your audience actually is, what they are worried about, what they need to hear before they trust you, what objections they have before they buy. Reasoning AI can map that entire emotional journey for you before you write a single word. This matters whether you are writing a proposal, a sales email, a job application, a content strategy, a pitch deck. The output is not generic, it is strategic, and it is calibrated to your specific situation. If you are finding this useful, consider subscribing for more practical AI insights every week. The third use is research and learning at a completely different speed. This week, GPT 5.6 Sol was specifically highlighted for biology research performance on a benchmark called GeneBench Vi 1. That is not a coincidence. Reasoning AI was built to work through layered information, connect ideas across different fields, and surface conclusions that are not obvious from a single source. You do not need to be a scientist to use this. If you are learning a new skill, studying for a professional certification, or trying to understand a complex topic quickly, ask Reasoning AI to explain how the pieces connect, not just what they are, why they relate, where the contradictions are, what the experts disagree on. You will learn faster than any course can teach you, because you are learning how to think about the subject, not just memorizing the facts. The fourth use is career and income strategy. This is the one most people never try, and it might be the most valuable. Describe your current work situation honestly, your skills, your income, your hours, your goals, your constraints. Ask Reasoning AI to map 3 realistic paths from where you are now. Not generic advice about learning to code or starting a podcast. Specific paths based on your actual situation, with the trade-offs of each one clearly laid out. Then ask it to identify the single most asymmetric opportunity, the one where the upside is large and the downside is small given everything you have told it. That kind of thinking used to require an expensive business coach or a mentor you might spend years trying to find. The reasoning layer of modern AI makes it available to anyone right now for free or close to it. Now here's the part worth sitting with for a moment. Grok 4.5 is in private beta at SpaceX and Tesla today. In a few weeks, it will be available more broadly. When that happens, every user will have access to more powerful reasoning than anything currently available, and most people will still use it like a search engine because nobody showed them the difference. The gap between those two groups is not about intelligence. It is not about technical skill. It is about approach. The people who understand how to prompt for reasoning, how to give AI real context instead of vague questions, how to use AI as a thinking partner rather than an answer machine. Those people will make better decisions faster. They will learn faster. They will solve problems that used to take weeks in hours. And the tools to practice this right now already exist. Grok through the XAI platform. GPT 5.6 Sol when broader access opens in coming weeks. Even existing tools with reasoning modes you may already have access to. The private beta is a signal, not a wall. It is telling you that the best version of this technology is being tested at speed, and the public version is coming fast, the people who have already built the habit of reasoning with AI. By the time the more powerful version arrives, we'll be miles ahead of everyone starting from scratch. This is one of those windows that looks small from the outside, but feels enormous when you are on the other side of it. Try one of those 4 approaches this week. Pick the one that fits your situation. Business decisions, communication strategy, deep learning, career mapping. Put real context into your prompt, give AI something genuine to work with, and see what kind of thinking comes back. Drop a comment below. Which of those 4 would you try first? I am genuinely curious what problems you would hand to a reasoning AI today.